Okay, okay, dear Dhamma friends, venerable sisters and Dhamma friends. So we have come to the English retreat in Kalalgoda. So we're going to start with the Dhamma discussions. May you all give your consent by sadhu sadhu. So I'll request to start with the written questions.
Venerable Sir, we have 9 questions altogether today.
Okay.
First question, Venerable Bhante, please explain how we should do the walking meditation, as I have never done it before. Do we have to concentrate on our breath or the footsteps?
Okay.
Thero Nissarana.
So, just to give a brief idea about walking meditation. So you first go to the walking path and just don't think that you are doing any kind of meditation. Just get familiar with the walking path first. So you go to the path and then go from this end to the other end. Just several times you for several times you are simply going from one end to the other end. It's a kind of a familiarization with the walking path. So you know what is the length, what is the kind of speed that you can maintain. So like manner you are getting familiar with the path. So don't think that you are meditating. Just a matter of going here and from this end to the other end. After a while, then see, as you are walking, basically you need to take your attention to the touch sensations. It is not the in-breath and out-breath, but rather when your left foot is touching the ground, so just be aware that your left foot is touching. When your right foot is touching the ground, just be aware that your right foot is touching. So basically, if you can just be with this sensation, very simply, where your foot is touching, your sole is touching the say either the cement or either sand or the coir mat, whatever. So that sensation, if you can simply be with, so that is more than enough. But the thing is, if suppose your mind is wandering, then you introduce some noting, where when you are touching left leg, you simply note it as left. When you are touching right leg, note it as right. Okay, left, right, left, right. So keep it very simple. So once you are keeping it simple, you can go deeper. If you complicate it, you can't go deeper. So even if you can drop this noting and just simply be with the sensation, that is much better. So at the beginning we can't do so because our mind is wandering. Therefore introduce noting. So as a beginner, it is quite okay to do noting as you do the practice. So once your left foot is touching, just note it as left. Once your right foot is touching, note it as right. So checking how long you can continue like this. Say left, right. So like that you are continuing. Say after a while your mind starts wandering. So at that time don't curse yourself or blame yourself. At the moment, once you know that mind has drifted from the object, mind has wandered, at that time come back to the walking. Say at that particular time, say your left foot is touching, just note it as left. If your right foot is touching, just note it as right. So just forget about what has happened and come back to the walking meditation again. So once you reach the end, so if you are a beginner, there's a fair chance that you might face a challenge because it is little different or little difficult to do the turn or coming back to the other side. So don't go to turn immediately. So once you reach the end, just stand there. Just stand there quietly and just take a deep breath and just note it as standing. Not walking, but just standing. And once you are comfortable, then slowly turn the other side. Even you are turning, you may be taking little steps, kind of short steps. So each and every short steps, just be aware. So once you are aware of these short steps and then turn the other side, and don't immediately start coming back. Just stay there for a second and again note it as standing, and then again begin the coming back session. Again left, right, you are coming back. So if you feel this during left and right, there's a fair chance of say fair long time. It's not exactly long, but there's a chance in between your mind start going to the other object. If so, you can make it like say the complete lifting movement. You can be fully aware. Complete placing cycle, you can be fully aware. Okay, lifting you are fully aware, placing you are fully aware, lifting you are fully aware, placing you are fully aware. So this complete cycle you have to be aware. So that's another way. So start with left and right. It is very simple. It's a matter of being aware of the sensation. So don't go to sense your breathing. It is rather sensing what you experience in your souls. And the other thing, as you are developing, you can even drop this noting, you can simply drop this labeling and simply be with the sensations. So that is much relaxing to your mind. So as further we'll go, we'll explain some more detail. So I think for a beginner this is enough. Yes.
Bhante, the second question is somewhat similar to the first one. Can I read it?
Okay.
I find walking meditation somewhat distracting, and I am not sure how to be mindful during it. Focusing on the sensations of on the soles of my feet only keep me mindful for a few minutes. Any techniques, strategies to sustain mindfulness during walking meditation would be greatly appreciated. Thero Saranai.
Yeah, strategies are just to now basically when your foot is touching, you are taking a fair strong sensation. It is not a simple like air coming and blowing to your hand or your face, but rather a fairly strong sensation you are getting when your foot is touching the ground. So that is the fair indication that you have to note left. When your right foot is touching strongly, just note it as right, left, right. And the other thing is, it is true that it is challenging because unlike the sitting meditation where most of the other parameters are fixed, but here your eyes are open, you can hear various sounds, the others are also working around you, and you are voluntarily doing something, you are engaged with something, you have to volitionally lift your legs and walk. So keep it as a challenge, take it as a challenge. So at the beginning it appears like difficult, but as you catch the technique, so you find it more interesting than even the sitting. So take it at the beginning, it is true it is a little difficult, but keep practicing. So once you are able to understand it, or once you are able to be mindful with walking meditation, it is more interesting. Actually it is giving a kind of a training for vipassana meditation particularly, because unlike in sitting, so you are always with a changing object and you are still trying to be mindful with that changing object. So it is more interesting, more challenging. So please keep continuing, keep practicing it. So you will win, don't worry. So it will take time, but you will win. Yes.
Sitting meditation. I seem to experience constant mind chatter. This makes it difficult to observe the breath. Please advise. Even with focus, it keeps repeating. Walking meditation. I enjoy the walking meditation very much, but find it difficult to be mindful as the mind keeps switching to different subjects. Would appreciate your advice on this. Theruvan Saranai.
Actually, kind of approach to think that the object has to be constant is a kind of a tranquility meditation where we are trying to keep one object and continuously trying to be mindful of that one object. But here the situation is different. So object is continuously changing. Say left foot is changing, right foot is changing, again the left foot, again the right foot. So it's entirely a changing process is there, but your talent is to kind of neglect all the other distractions and just be with this changing. On left side, how the change occurs. Say you are feeling various sensations. On your right side, you are experiencing various changes, various experiences. So just be this as your lab, kind of a laboratory. So you are doing a kind of experiment and you are fully aware of the sensations on your left foot, and once it is done, you have the right foot. It is giving more information. Now it is left foot. Now it is right foot. So likewise, if you can be familiar with this process, then your mind chattering fairly reduce, because if you start mind chattering, inner chattering, then you are missing more detail. Actually, I'll just explain the next step of the walking meditation. So once you are familiar, or once you can maintain your mindfulness with left, right. So suppose you are omitting that left, right noting, but rather you are simply being aware of the sensation. Once you are capable of doing that, next step is try to get more detail. Say at the beginning you are simply aware of some, say, stiffness. But later you may understand, okay, to which part of my foot it is touching the ground first. Okay, is it my fingers, my toes, or is it my heel? Among the toes, which toe? Is it all of them touching together, or is it a particular one? So you have to be more coming down to more detail, more finer detail. Then you are more and more into the subject, more and more into the detail, little detail. So that makes your mind more concentrated, more focused, and you know the exact amount of energy that you need to exert. So these are the information, or these are the skills that we are trying to get through walking meditation. So if once you are capable of doing this, your inner chattering really reduce. So even if you feel more chattering in the sitting meditation, that indicates you couldn't get much from the walking meditation. So if you could really do a fairly good walking meditation, so then once you come back to the sitting meditation, then your inner chatter fairly less. So less inner chatter and less high concentration, and then you can get a very good sitting session. And another advice is, now even in the day-to-day life, so if you allow your mind to go with various stories, say you get something to your mind and you think according to it, you think various things coming or attaching to that particular object, then another object, then another object, and then another object. So you are going on and on in a continuous train of thoughts, kind of a story. So that is really harmful. So if your meditation is growing, particularly your vipassana meditation is growing, remember that your inner chatter has to really slowly calm down, has to reduce. So don't think that your meditation will be successful if you are getting a good sitting session, or if you are simply getting a walking meditation. If you are neglectful during the other times, say you are doing well in the sitting and walking, but the other times suppose you are simply allowing your mind to wander as it wish. So then you are allowing the mind, whatever the accumulated energy, whatever the gathered momentum, you are allowing to dissipate. So therefore don't allow your mind to go on and on various thoughts, on various stories. So that has to be really reduced. If you can do it, once you know that I am thinking nonsense, then please stop it. Please stop it and come back to your sensation. Yes. Yeah.
Venerable Bhante, what steps can be taken to avoid falling asleep while sitting meditation? Thero Saranai.
So that is what I am taking now. This hot tea is a good solution. Hot tea is a good solution. Hot coffee, a good solution. And you can have some, before coming to the sitting, you can wash your face with some hot some warm water. That is another good solution. And you can have a good walking session. That's another solution. You can do some stretching if you like before coming to the sitting. That's another solution. And start with kind of a noting. Say, rather than immediately coming and watching the breath. So even if you are sort of familiar with meditation, probably you can do little noting at the beginning. Say, in breath, in, out. So it kind of energizes the mind. So that also helps. And actually within, say, a couple of sessions at the beginning, you will sleep. So don't worry. Because if you all are coming with a busy schedule, so once you come and start watching the breath, so mind finds it really boring. So it is not interesting, like watching the TV or watching a drama or watching a movie or cricket match or whatever thing. It's extremely boring. So you start falling asleep. So allow the mind to calm down for a couple of sessions, but do more walking. So more walking, again energizing various ways, and then you will again mind, and you are not allowing the mind to distract, rather, or kind of giving various say entertainments. Rather, you are trying to restrain the mind in this breath or rising and falling. So that you are continuously doing, even though at times you are sleepy. But later on, once the mind is sort of restrained and the mind is focused and you are continuously taming it, ultimately mind will tame and mind will be with the breath without sleeping. So take time. Don't think that you will be 100% perfect at the very very first sitting. So it may not happen. So just give some time. It's all right to feel sleepy in the first session or first day, but later on try to catch up. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Because as you know, there are 5 hindrances, 5 nivaranas. So Kamachanda, Vyapada, Uddhacha, Kucca, Vichikicha. Those are the 4 that we can calm down through the meditation. And once 4 of them are calmed down, only 1 remains. That is the Tina Midda, sloth and torpor. So it's a clear indication if there is no. Now, idea is if you have lust, no sleeping coming, no sleepiness or drowsiness comes. If you have hate or anger, you can't sleep. Now, if you don't have anger, if you don't have lust, so that's a calm mind. And suppose your mind is have no doubts. You have the faith with the teacher, faith with the Buddha, faith with the Dhamma, and you are fully happy. And again, there is no regrets about the past. And then your mind find it boring. So it start sleeping. It's a clear indication, by the way, as she said. So your other 4 hindrances are fairly calmed down or reduced. So now it's a matter of handling this 1 hindrance. So within couple of sessions you may understand, okay, this session, okay, once the other 4 are tackled, okay, I got caught to Tina Midda. Doesn't matter. Okay, now I am trying the next one. Again, I am going little far. So at this time, suppose after 30 minutes you fall asleep. Next time, try to be awake at least 45 minutes. Next time, say, whole 1 hour you are awake. So likewise, just give time. Don't be in a rush. But slowly, 5 minutes you are adding. So that way we can win. Yeah, it's okay.
Venerable Sir, this is a question regarding walking versus sitting meditation. The question is, what empirical, within brackets, scientific data supports the efficacy of walking meditation over sitting meditation?
Scientific data. So basically, I read that both, particularly in the sitting meditation, you have, as your mindfulness develops, so there's typically, idea is any type of meditation help us to kind of give some space for the right brain, right globe of the or right hemisphere of the brain. So typically our brain has two spheres or semispheres. So we are working mainly with the left sphere. So that is the more chattering, that is the more thinking, that is more rational thinking, rationalizing, more say defilements, sort of measuring others. So all the inner chatter, all these things are related with the left hemisphere. But the right side is more holistic. It is embracing everything. So there is no black and white, there is no men and women, there is no poor and rich. Everyone is similar. So kind of a holistic perception we have in the right hemisphere. So through meditation, that's why we are not encouraging thinking. So it is, meditation is not thinking. So there is another one type of meditation what we do, say volitionally we are thinking, we are what we call as contemplations. Say you are doing Marana-Anussati, we are doing say Buddha-Anussati, Metta. At the beginning it appears like you are doing some kind of thinking. So it is true, so it is coming like that. But later on, you have to reduce thinking. You have to make it more simpler. And more simpler, now even in Metta, for example, say you start with various people. And then you are going with various directions. Or, okay, this direction be well and happy. To that direction you well and happy. To the other direction well and happy. To this direction well and happy. To the upper direction well and happy. To the lower direction well and happy. Now you are sort of pervading metta towards all the directions. So you break all the sort of conventional, say individual features or individual sort of people or beings. And ultimately you can spread metta to all the beings. Say everyone be well and happy to all the directions. And it becomes more and more simple. So you start with your teachers, your friends, or your whoever you like, and then you go to sort of enlarge it. But later on, you forget about these beings. You forget about the humans. You are a kind of a source of metta to everyone. There is no limitation. There is no boundary. So you are simply emitting metta to everyone. So that is what Buddha called as metta ceto vimutti, where you have no boundaries. So you are simply pervading metta towards everyone. So it is really beautiful. So at that time, understand that there is no rational type of thinking. You don't have any mother, father, friends or human beings. There is no such thing. But you are simply capable of sort of emitting metta to all the directions. There is no limit. So that's an indication your right brain is now acting. Now right brain has taken the power, and now it is your source of metta. So same thing applies to other meditations. Say you are simply being with the sensations. Say your left foot is touching. Suppose you can entirely calm down your mind. There is no single thought, and you are simply being with the sensation. So then it's an indication you are fully accepting it, embracing it. There is no preferences. Rather you are simply acknowledging it, embracing the experience, accepting and simply being with the sensation. Next foot is touching. You don't select. You don't have any preference. May I get the soft sensation? May I get the stiff sensation? No preference. Whatever appears, you are simply embracing, simply accepting. Next sensations you are simply accepting. Next sensations you are simply accepting. So it is more and more calming down, and you are allowing yourself to bloom. Your right brain to come back to the sort of to the surface, and it will take over now. So it is more joyful because more and more defilements operate on the right side, on the left side. Because left side operation indicates that you are analytical. You are more critical, you are more criticizing others, or you have more information. So it's more corrupted. But now you are trying to calm down the left brain and allowing chance to this right brain to appear, right brain to blossom. So that is something, not recently, but that scientifically they have found it. And again, scientifically they found that, there are certain parts of the brain, they call it as prefrontal cortex, which has some relationship with the taking decisions, as far as I can remember, for taking decisions. So as your mindfulness develops, you are not immediately reacting. Rather, you have some kind of some kind of cushion type of thing, some kind of without immediately reacting, you have some kind of buffer zone. So this buffer zone increasing, so you have a fair chance of getting the correct decisions. You are not immediately jump into decisions, which is conditioned by the typical habits or conditioned by your own tendencies. Rather, the mindfulness shows, what are my inner tendencies? What are my biases? So how the things are happening? So how I am biased towards a certain decision. So if mindfulness allowing you to show these things, then there's a fairly good chance to get the correct decisions, rather than immediately jump into a decision. So these are actually good benefits that you all experience through develop mindfulness. So it is not merely for sitting, it is coming through walking as well. And on the other side, the walking meditation helps to give a very good health condition. So as you do mindful walking, it reduces the stress and it improves the digestion. And actually that Buddha himself has mentioned in the Chakmananisansa Sutta. He talks about 5 benefits in walking meditation. Say, if you do walking meditation, Buddha says, so you have the capacity to do long walks. Say during the Buddha's time, they didn't have much of the today's vehicles. Okay, most of the things they have to walk most of the time. So if they are familiar with the walking meditation, then they can walk long. And again, it helps for the digestion. And again, it reduces the various other diseases. And another thing is, the concentration what is developed through walking is more lasting. It lasts for a long time, unlike in the sitting meditation, because you are developing it within certain challenges. It is not very the restrained or constrained environment that you are doing walking. You are doing it with the various challenges. Your eyes are open, others are also walking, you can hear sounds, and you have to volitionally do the walking. So all are distractions. Still, suppose you are capable of maintaining mindfulness. When your left foot is touching, you are perfectly, sharply, you are being aware of the sensation. On right foot is touching, so you forget about left, now you are fully with the right. So it's a skill. So therefore it's a really interesting and really important, particularly for Vipassana point of view. So therefore these two are really giving us a very good balance. Walking helps sitting, sitting helps walking. So it's a very kind of a very beautiful balance is there. So therefore both are useful. Yes.
Venerable Bhante, I am a clinical psychologist and currently involved in a program of mindfulness for depressed patients. At the same time, why is meditation not recommended for certain other types of mental illnesses? For example, like panic disorder, personality disorders, etc.
Sorry, it's not recommended, right?
At the same time, why is meditation not recommended for certain other types of mental illnesses? For example, like panic disorder, personality disorders, etc.
Okay. So, I think now suppose a person comes to a kind of a completely depressed situation. So at that time he needs someone else's help. So it is by himself he may not be in a position to lift him up. So because he lost the energy, he lost the faith. So at that time asking him to look at the breath is too much for him. So because because already mind has gone down, so he has someone else's help to make him energized, make him happy. So then suppose he is energetic and he has the capacity or the confidence, then you can introduce mindfulness. But when the person is extremely depressed, then I feel better go for medication rather than meditation. So with the medication, you can again take him back to some extent. But later we can recommend mindfulness. So as you may all know that mindfulness-based stress reduction, sort of mindfulness-based various other say cognitive therapies and type of things, these are actually being practiced. So, but for that it is not, I don't think that it is the extremely depressed patients, but still depressed, but still they through the say kind of counseling type of things, they can convince, okay, there's a facility. And on the other hand, so I found that for certain diseases like schizophrenia, so where people have sort of ideas about say someone is inserting thoughts, someone is always doubtful about me, some that kind of situations are there where they always get various distractions. Suppose we introduce mindfulness for them, so mindfulness helps to calm down the mind. So typically for those kind of patients, there are consistent thoughts are coming in again and again. So they imagine that someone is putting thoughts. But suppose through the meditation, through mindfulness, they are able to calm down themselves. Then the rate of thoughts reduced. Say at the beginning, say 1,000 thoughts come per minute. Now through meditation, say 500 thoughts are coming. So then they may understand, okay, it is not really someone is inserting, but it is my own mind. So I think we can combine these two. Medication and meditation can go hand in hand. So we can't simply neglect the medication and go only with meditation, but rather if we can combine both together, so while taking some medicine, at the same time doing some not very stressful or very strong meditation, but very simple meditation, say just walking, just being aware of the sensations. So that is more calming down, that is more reducing stress. So I think that is helpful. So as he or she said, so for all the mental illnesses, therefore we can't say that we can recommend meditation, but most of the cases still we can try. So even say heart cases, so people found that say if you are being mindful, so you are maintaining some kind of equanimity in your mind, and when you are having a kind of a balance say perception towards the others, say you are maintaining some kind of balance in the mind, so that fairly reduce the agitation of the mind. So because most of the diseases are mind-made. So once you are improving the mindfulness, once you have a better chance of understanding yourself, so it is more calming down. If there was a stress, after meditation, that stress has to go away if you are doing correct meditation. So if you are properly doing meditation, suppose at the beginning you have some kind of stress, some kind of sorrow, but after meditation it has to go away if you are doing it properly. But if you are trying various things and trying to sort of forcefully do something, then that is wrong meditation in a way. So that increases the stress. So that is wrong actually. So we have to allow time, allow meditation to grow. It may take time. It is kind of taking its own time. So it is kind of giving time, accepting, being patient, and just being with the present moment. So that actually helps as far as I can understand.
Venerable Bhante, I listened to the series of Dhamma Deshana you delivered on Ānāpāna Sutta. There you mentioned that some yogis begin with Kāyanupassana, then without moving on to Vedananupassana, they go to Dhātu Manasikara. Within brackets, did I understand properly? I got a bit confused. Can you therefore please clarify? Three more questions. Bhante.
Yeah, we'll first answer this.
Yeah.
Sorry? Sorry?
One is going to Dhatu Manasikara and not to Vedananupassana not the normal route? If so, how and where does that yogi move on to the other anupassana? For example, Vedana. Thank you very much. Much merit to you, Bhante.
Actually, Dhatu Manasikara is in Kayanupassana. So when we are starting with Anapanasati, it is still in it's still in Kayanupassana. Dhatu Manasikara is still in Kayanupassana. It is not in Vedananupassana or another thing. Still both Anapanasati and Dhatu Manasikara both in Kayanupassana. So one can develop fair amount of concentration through Anapanasati. So one can go with Anapanasati itself to all four, say Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana, all four one can go with Anapanasati. That is one way. Another way, one is developing Anapanasati to some extent, say at least to what we call as Upachara Samadhi. So then one can shift to Dhatu Manasikara, where you start observing the body, say bodily sensations, say various elements are not really sensations, the term is more biased towards the Vedana, but more elements characteristics. Say if you see earth element, so earth element has several characteristics like stiffness, roughness, smoothness, softness, heaviness, lightness. So those are earth characteristics. Then fire element, the hot and the cold. Then this apo, water element, this fluidity and cohesion. Then air element, the kind of vibrations, movement. So those are the air element. So once you develop fair amount of concentration through Anapanasati, you can try to go through your body and understand these various characteristics of the elements. So that is, you are now moving towards the Dhatu Manasikara. So still it is in the Kayanupassana. And later on, it can slowly develops to Vedananupassana, where you are bearing certain positive feelings, or rather happy feelings, or even you are bearing certain painful feelings. So you are now coming toward the Vedananupassana. And slowly now, if you can be with these two at fairly long time, so then they start calming down. So you are not much of the sensations are available, not much of the pains are available, but you feel kind of lightness. And then you can turn towards the Chittanupassana as well. So probably I might have told that so certain people spend more time in Kayanupassana, and then they spend little time in Vedananupassana, then may be going towards the Chittanupassana. That is possible. Some people spend little time in Kayanupassana, spend more time in Vedananupassana, and then may go to Chittanupassana. So some people may stay little in the Kayanupassana, some little on the Vedananupassana, and then go to the Chittanupassana. So likewise it vary. So we can't have a rule, okay, everyone has to practice 1 year Kayanupassana, another year Vedananupassana. We can't make a rule as such. Rather, it's a kind of our own tendencies. So one spend more time in Kayanupassana, another spend more time in Vedananupassana, another spend more time in Chittanupassana. There are those kind of trends within ourselves. So we have to allow it. We should not try to control or kind of command. Okay, you should. Definitely we have to start with Kayanupassana. That I agree, because it's a easy place to get into the water. So we always therefore recommend Kayanupassana as the beginning. So then we have to go to other sites. Yes.
Venerable Bhante, when we experience the negativity of someone else directly, wouldn't it be judgmental of us to understand that behavior as them not being mindful / aware? Example, poor him / her. Or is that being sympathetic towards their state of mind? How can one practice mindful empathy, or is there such a thing? Theruvan Saranai.
Yeah, actually in Dhamma there are various ways that we can develop kind of compassion, develop empathy towards others. So there are a couple of suttas comes in as far as I can remember Samyutta Nikaya, where Buddha talks about Agahata Pativinaya, where say suppose you are developing some kind of anger, then anger develops to certain kind of hatred, then it's going to sort of more kind of revenge type of thing. So it's a kind of a development. So we should not allow it. So if such is there, so there are various ways. So you can suppose it is evident that it is his fault or her fault, it is not my fault. Suppose it is evident like that. Till we rationalize like that, so we won't end the solution. So because we are always thinking, he's wrong, she is wrong, so I am correct. So because I am correct, no, so why should I bother? She has to come to me and apologize me. So we are encouraging it. So rather, so we have to think, okay, I mean, she or he doesn't have the capacity. So I was like that before. You can think something like that, giving some space in your heart. Okay, I mean, people are not perfect. Okay, I mean, they make various mistakes. So I am also not perfect. So I also make mistakes. So only Buddha hasn't done any mistake. So even the Arahants have done mistakes. So if the Arahants could do mistakes, how about myself? So I definitely could do various mistakes. So therefore, kind of forgiving is one aspect. The other thing is, thinking that if he did really wrong thing, so it is his own karma. So he is the heir to the karma he did. So whatever he did is his own baby. So I can't help. So he has done wrong thing to me. So rather than I take the revenge, so you allow karma to take the action. With time, karma will take care. So I don't need to burn my hand. So because Buddha says, I mean clearly, kammasaka sabbe satta. So the whatever thing we can call as mine, whatever thing we can call that I inherit, it is only karma, nothing else. So we may have our children, we may have various vehicles, or say land and every jobs and various things. But ultimately what we have is only karma. That's all. So we born with empty hand, we go with empty hand. But whatever the right and wrong actions during our lifetime, what we do, that's the only thing we take. So we can really understand this karma. And if someone else is doing the wrong thing, that is his karma. He's doing it. And on the other side, suppose he blames you. So that is a bad karma of you now going to exhaust or going to pay off. Now he is accumulating, you are paying off. So you need, who has to be sympathized? So he has to be sympathized, because I had the wrong karma, I had the bad karma to get the vipaka, get the result. Now I am paying it off. It's burning. It can't help. It's burning. It's burning. But someone else, another poor guy, is accumulating. That's the real vicious cycle of the karma. Say, suppose you did a really bad thing in a previous life, so you have to pay it off. Say you hit someone, you burn someone, and by throwing say hot water to someone. Now the same thing is coming to you in this life, say for example, and someone is throwing now. Is it the same person? Never. I mean, it is not the same person mostly. It is someone else. Now he is now accumulating, but now you are paying off. So we have to understand these things. By understanding these things, we are trying to simply sort of being sort of equanimous rather than reacting. So if we react, then we are again accumulating karma. We never allowing it to pay off. We are again accumulating karma. So next life also we have to pay. Another karma comes, again we react as being a person. So I should do something. I should take revenge. So again I am making karma. So in never ending. So that's why we need to fully aware when someone is doing something wrong to us. So I am paying off my bad or wrong result or previous result, and he can't help, he is accumulating. You have some? Yes.
Same people?
Sorry?
Can
It could be also. It can be also, because sometimes there are cases at the deathbed, when they are dying, they have a kind of a revenge, grudge, strong grudge. Okay, I should do it. I should take the revenge in the next life. So such cases are there. Even in the Buddha's time, such cases have happened. Say 2 women, and one occasion, they were in another previous life. They were partners to the same person, and one was pregnant, the other one is not. Like that, they have some kind of clash. So it has come from life to life. So it can happen also, but we can't say so in a way. It only a Buddha can say this is the same person get the revenge, but mostly it is not the case.
The other person is advanced.
Yes.
In say meditation or whatever.
Yes.
Advanced, and that person doesn't have revengeful thoughts.
Yes.
But the other person dying wants to take revenge. Will
Yes.
that connect the two?
To connect in the sense, now even though in the present time, say the meditative person is calmed down, is peaceful, so suppose he has his own karma to pay off, can't help. Now the Buddha is a perfectly enlightened one, but he had the certain 10 or 12 past karma to pay off. So that is why the Devadatta put the splinter towards him. So it's a great injury happened to Buddha, but it's a payoff to another injury. It's another vipaka, another unwholesome deed. But Devadatta is accumulating. Buddha is paying off. So that's the situation. So we can't say that even Arahants, so even though they are enlightened beings, the past karma, it does not stop. Even one get enlightened, fair amount of past karma. Say for example, the karma which has the capacity to give another birth, that stops. But there are certain residuals, kind of remaining parts that it may happen during the lifetime. Sorry? Exactly. So Venerable Moggallana is the second disciple of the Buddha, and he has really bad karma coming from various lifetimes, but he did for his parents, so he went through various difficulties. So that's the way. So if we understand karma very well, so then we are not immediately jumping to react, because we need to understand if something is happened, if someone is blaming me without ground, without proper ground, without I doing a particular mistake, rather it's I don't know the proper term. Sorry? Without proper ground, say someone is blaming me for which I didn't really did. So then I need to accept it, okay? With time it may come, it may reveal the truth. But for the time being, it may be my karma. Karma may be paying off. I have to be surrender. Because if I react, again I am accumulating. So that is another side that we can think. So when kind of to generate empathy. So these are ways differently, enormously explained by the Buddha to calm down ourselves. And there's a beautiful saying in the Dhammapada, Sache neresi attanang kanso upahato yatha esapatto sinibbanang sarambho te na vijjati. Say, when you consider a ball, a kind of a metal ball, if it is not cracked, once you hit it, it gives a kind of a echo. Tongue is going on like kind of a sound. But suppose it is cracked, it stopped there. And Buddha takes that as an example. Buddha says, if you can stop yourself, So, and you are not going to tit for tat. If you are not going to for revenge, then you are like coming to Nibbana. You are attain Nibbana. So Nibbana is just stilling yourself. Just say there is no firing, there is no burning, inner burning, but you are calm down. So someone is hitting, you are simply absorbing it. You are just like the cracked gong. There is no vibration coming out, no vibrant sound coming out, but you are simply stop there. So there is no going for next life or next. The person hitting you has no energy to hit another time, because when you react only, he get the energy to hit another shot. So that is how it is going on. Okay. Yes. Okay, that's all the written questions. So if we have any immediate things to discuss, we can discuss, or else we can wind up the session.
Venerable Sir.
Yes.
May I ask this question in a bit of detail, because otherwise this might sound exactly like the question earlier where you fall asleep during seated meditation. I'm a little new to this, but I have meditated before on my own as well as at certain places. My question is, sometimes when you sit down for seated meditation, your mind is very quick to identify the thoughts that come, to realize what they are about and to put it away. And you come to a place of calm somewhat quickly. But sometimes, now I should relate this to my personal experience, because now modern research says that an adult should get about 8 hours of sleep on average. I don't know how Buddhism agrees with it or not. But I have forced myself to get 8 hours of sleep a day. So when I sleep for about 6 hours, as in this retreat, I'm not asking that it be increased. But I find that I'm drowsy in the morning.
Yes.
I find when you come and sit, you feel sleepy. And like you said, sir, I tried walking meditation and then it works. Because walking meditation sort of forces you to realize the pressure, as you said, the sharp sensation. And then you come to a place where you realize the sensations. And when you're walking, you're fine. You realize where you are. You come back to seated meditation though, and then you feel drowsy again. You sometimes fall asleep. So I tried drinking coffee, I tried taking a little bath, but none of it works. And sometimes it can be, it's because you know exactly where your mind can be, but it's simply not going there. It's like trying to cut a fruit with a very dull, blunt knife.
Yes.
So I was wondering, like you said, to do walking meditation and then try again, or whether it's what is a practical solution? Would it be to actually go have a nap and come back, or because I find even coffee and tea doesn't quite bring your mind to the same place that a rested mind should be in.
Yes.
It's a bit sort of sporadic, if I may say. So I was just wanting to know your opinion on that, and whether you could add something more to what you already said. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So actually through meditation we are sort of calming down the mind, and again coming to various levels of the mind. So at the beginning we are with some gross object. Say breath is gross. So you have some gross feeling of the in-breath, gross feeling of the out-breath, so you can catch it. But with time this the breath calms down. So it is now, suppose just to explain, suppose we measure it with some intensity or with some value. Okay, you get 100 value for that, the intensity of the breath. So now the intensity is reducing. Now it reduced to 50%. Now in order to have even that subtle, less intensity breath to be aware, you need full kind of sharp mindfulness. Now even come to say 20 intensity, Now still you have to be able to catch it. Then come to 5. It's almost like no breath. Still you have to be able to awake. So it is a training. So suppose if you are when the breath is calming down, reducing the intensity, say you are introducing a new gross object, so it is you are going in the wrong direction, because we have to help to calm down the breath. So it is a challenge now. At the beginning it is a gross breath, so we can comfortably aware of it. But now it is getting more and more difficult because our mindfulness is not yet tuned to be with the subtle breath. So we go to sleep. So that's why, it takes time. So you can agitate yourself by various ways. You can introduce another object, or you can immediately, no point, I am going to walking. You can get up and go to walking. Or you change the meditation object entirely, go to another gross object. Say you are doing anapanasati and you feel drowsy, you change to the rising and falling. Rising and falling also come to the same stage, because it's also calming down. So you have to go through it. So if you feel that I am sleeping, okay, continuously I am sleeping, so you have to invest more time. So thing is, suppose you are doing meditation only 1 day per week, so you can't overcome it, because too less, you are doing less meditation. But every day you have to do. Then only you will understand, okay, today I was able to calm down to this extent and then I fall asleep. So next day you are trying, and you since it happened fairly closely, so you know to what extent you are awake, and from when onwards you fall asleep. So you are at that time you are little patient, you are more cautious. Then you can little enlarge it. The awakened period you can enlarge. Then little by little you are sort of enlarging and lengthening this wakeful period. So ultimately the mind is almost like no object. Still you are awake. So therefore, as far as I can understand, we have to invest more time in sitting on such occasion. But still we sleep. Can't help. Tomorrow also we try. Again sleep. Tomorrow, next day also we try. Now little sleep. So likewise, we have to train ourselves. It's a matter of training. So if you have to, these taking say coffee, tea are all temporary solutions. All are temporary solutions just to sort of energize the mind. But rather, once the object is really calming down, softening, so in order to maintain the soft object in your mind, fully alert, so you have to have a very, very wakeful mind. It takes time. So don't give up, but you need to go through it. And as you go through, you will understand now, mostly what happens is, during the rest of the day, we are fully active with various things. So one object, another thing, another one come in, another going to TV, another jumping, laughing, so fully active. Then you come and start breathing. Oh, sleep. Can't help. Sorry? That's also true. Yes. You can be fully so thing is, even those day-to-day activities are very gross. When compared with the in-breath and out-breath, other activities are activities, no? So you are doing something. It is voluntary. So you are making something, you are driving, you require fair amount of attentiveness. But breath is a natural process. This natural process you are simply watching. So it's... Sorry? Yes, that's why. So more and more you train your mind, more and more you be with it. So that's the only solution. Other things are all kind of short remedies, short solutions. Yes. Yes. Motivation. Exactly. That's also true. Yeah. No, thing is, as your vipassana develops, your motivation also reduce. If you think I have to improve my motivation, so it is also true. We can say, okay, one day, okay, I get the motivation to meditate the whole 24 hours. So that is over motivation, kind of over enthusiastic. But later, as you go on to deeper vipassana, so you feel bored. So what to do then? How are you going to motivate yourself? So motivation is a sign of kilesa, sign of defilements. So at the beginning we need it. So otherwise we won't jump to the water. So we need some amount of encouragement. We need some amount of conviction to come to the meditation. But later on, as your mind calms down, less and less defilements, say you are going to more deeper states, object-less type of meditation. So it is less defilements. Defilements are the ones making us energetic, making us motivated. So even without motivation, think how Buddhas and the Arahants, how much they are doing without motivation. Motivation means, they are doing it out of compassion in a way, not expecting anything in return, still awake. So, it's unimaginable. It's really, real Dhamma is there. Buddha is just sleeping for 12 hours and the rest of the day he is working for others. Arahants say they are just doing something for others. Nothing interest of getting in return. It's really beautiful. Dhamma, how in the human mind, how things are sort of blooming, how things are really operating. It's really beautiful. So motivation actually help us to be energetic, be fully awake, but we have to allow mind to calm down, allow body to rest. Say you are fully motivated and you are starting with very stretched posture. But with time you have to allow it to come down to a relaxed posture. Otherwise it won't grow. So you may think, okay, I have to maintain this posture throughout. Can't, it won't grow. So you have to allow it to calm down. You start like this, now it is going like this. It is slowly adjusting itself and even the head turns. So you allow it. Otherwise you can't progress. Energy is only one aspect. So there are various other aspects coming and helping. So you have to allow. Okay. So it's beautiful actually how mind is developing, how Dhamma is taking part. At the beginning, we as a person involved in meditation. I control meditation. Later on, meditation takes its time. The Dhamma takes its time. So we simply give up and allow it to operate like. So in Sinhala we call it Karana Bhavana and Kirena Bhavana. Karana Bhavana, so we involve. We put our hand, we control. In the Kirena Bhavana, we allow it to happen. We give up. We don't intervene. We take our hand out and allow mind to grow by it naturally. It's beautiful actually. Sorry. Huh? Autopilot, exactly. Our Bhante is telling autopilot. So you take your manual, you do, and then you give up. Various ways actually teachers explain it. It's very beautifully mind develops at various stages. Okay, I think, sorry? Okay, so he has some donation also. So maybe after this session you can donate it. So I think we have spent some time, maybe more than 1 hour in Dhamma discussion. So I apologize for my late starting. So thanks everyone for active participation. So I hope that you have more motivation to practice. So please continue practice. So with time you understand various aspects of the meditation. So then you allow it to happen. You do it as a kind of a duty for you. Say towards Buddha you have suppose, okay, I have to meditate. Towards the Dhamma as a duty I am meditating. As a Sangha as a duty for the Sangha I am meditating. So it becomes then not kind of a selfless type of thing, rather than just today I am enlightened. So it is kind of more self-centered like. Rather you are doing it as I have got a human being, so kind of a human body, I born in the Buddha's time, so I have an opportunity to sort of grow as a human being. So then it is my duty. So then you are taking it more lightly, more maturely, then it's developing. Okay, thank you very much for participation. Sukhi Hotu. Okay, Sukhi Hotu.